All right, let's jump right in. We're looking at something pretty fascinating today, a mashup of the ancient and the ultra modern. We're talking about a message that was forged way back in the 18th century, but it's being fired through a 21st century tech platform. This is the story of Sermon Academy and how they're trying to scale a 300-year-old message for a new digital-first world.
And it all kicks off with this. I mean, what a bold claim, right? Exponential distribution. This isn't just about sharing a few videos online. This one sentence sets the tone for a mission that thinks like a global tech company, but its endgame is something totally different.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth do you take these deep theological ideas from 3 centuries ago, ideas that literally shaped nations, and make them connect with people today, on their phones, in their feeds? That is the puzzle we are going to unpack right now. So, to get the mission, you first have to understand the message, what they call the payload, and that payload comes from one of the most brilliant minds in American history, a theologian named Jonathan Edwards. His ideas on purpose, beauty, and meaning are, believe it or not, finding a whole new audience today. Now, you have to get the context here. Edwards wasn't just some local pastor writing in a journal. No way. This guy was a central figure in what's known as the First Great Awakening, a massive spiritual revival that just swept through the American colonies. And his most famous sermon? It was delivered right at the peak of this cultural firestorm. His ideas had an immediate, powerful, and culture-shaping impact. The core of his theology is this idea of divine sovereignty. But what makes this so compelling isn't just the doctrine itself. It's Edwards' own story with it. He didn't just accept it. He wrestled with it. He actually called it horrible at first. His personal journey from seeing chaos to finding this incredible stability and joy in it, well, that's the engine behind his work. And it's a journey that really speaks to our own uncertain times. And this quote just nails the beauty he discovered. He argues that things that seem like total opposites, like the strength of a lion and the gentleness of a lamb, actually meet perfectly in one place. You know, in an age where we all feel pulled in a million different directions, this idea of a single, coherent, unified center, that is the kind of profound, timeless payload that Sermon Academy is trying to deliver. Okay, so you have this incredible historical payload. How do you get it out there today? Well, that brings us to the delivery system. If Edwards provided the content, Sermon Academy is building the high-speed digital pipeline to get it to every corner of the world. And they're not just scanning old books and uploading them. No, they are completely reformatting this content for how we all learn now. So yeah, you've got the classic sermon videos, but you've also got modern summaries to get you the main points, quick. And then there are these amazing sermon-to-life microdocs that connect these old ideas to today's big questions. It's a full-stack content strategy. In this right here, this is their whole strategy in a nutshell. It's about pulling this profound wisdom out of dusty, forgotten archives and dropping it right into the most personal digital space we have, our inbox. It's such a powerful way of saying they're making the timeless immediately relevant. But how do you fuel an operation like this? This is where things get really interesting. And honestly, pretty disruptive. They've built a financial model that is intentionally designed for one thing above all else: speed. At the heart of it all is this 10/90 funding model. Think about this. A full 90% of every dollar that comes in goes directly to global outreach. Only 10%, just a tiny slice, is used for internal operations. I mean, that is a radical commitment to efficiency that you just don't see very often. So how do they pull that off? By making a really strategic choice. Contributions to Sermon Academy are not tax deductible. Now, at first you might think, well, that's a disadvantage, but they see it as a feature. By opting out of the traditional nonprofit structure, they get the flexibility and agility to just move faster. They can deploy resources without getting bogged down in administrative red tape. So what does that speed look like in the real world? This slide shows you the direct line from a gift to its impact. A donation comes in, and because of that 90-10 split, it is almost immediately deployed to equip pastors in some of the hardest-to-reach, most difficult places on the planet. It's a super transparent, high-velocity pipeline from support straight to action. Okay, so that's the model. But does it actually work? Let's look at the results. And they lay out their data with the kind of clarity you'd expect from a Silicon Valley startup reporting its KPIs. So, the results of all this: their content has already reached people in 47 different countries. That's not just a number on a slide. That's a legitimate global footprint built with a lean, focused, digital-first strategy. And it's not just about broad reach, it's about deep engagement. Viewers have spent over 4,500 hours with these teachings. That means people aren't just clicking and leaving. They are staying, they're listening, and they're really absorbing this stuff. And this visual just puts it all into perspective. You can see they're using multiple platforms, like YouTube, to build out this diverse international audience. It's a true multi-channel approach designed for maximum dissemination. But here's the point they really drive home, and it's a crucial one. These numbers are not vanity metrics. For the team at Sermon Academy, every single view, every hour watched, represents a front line in what they see as a spiritual battle. A battle for hearts and minds, especially now, in an era of so much global hostility. They're giving the data a deep, profound purpose. Which leaves us with this one last big thought to chew on. In a world that is obsessed with the next new app, the next new platform, could it be that the most powerful disruption of all doesn't come from creating something new, but from taking the most timeless ideas and scaring them with the most modern tools? Sermon Academy is betting everything that the answer to that question is a resounding yes.